Hello lovely people, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that this one won't be too long. I don't have a huge amount to do. I already have got everything sorted out here on the desk. It looks like a bit of a pile of mess, but it's not. It is sorted. And yeah, so I'm really glad that you've come along to have a look to see what I'm up to today. For the last couple of days I've been on the couch. I was okay, just I felt like I needed to rest a little bit more, and I didn't want to be unproductive, so I didn't want to be just on the couch watching TV. So I pulled out some lace, different laces that I had, some tulle, some lace motifs, and some dupion silk and cotton and scissors, and I got to making ruffles because I really don't have any ruffles left, not fabric ones. And you know, sometimes making them there and then on the spot just with glue and scrunching them up on the page can be a bit dicey. Sometimes, you know, the glue, you might, if you put too much on, it's not good and what have you. So it's always good to have them pre-made. It does make your life a lot easier, and embellishing pages and pockets and cards and things makes that all a lot faster. So that's what I've done. I've got loads here. Some are more elaborate, some are weirdly shaped, and the lace part I gathered, and some of the silk I did gather, but I found that pleating it was much easier. So I pleated most of the silk, and so I've made quite a few, as you can see. There's lots, and I've divided the piles. This pile I'm not doing anything to. I want to leave some that I haven't done anything to, because I might want to, you know, it might be best to see how they look on the page, and if I need to add anything else, and perhaps I might have something that will suit the page more if I want to add it to the ruffle. So yeah, but I'm going to add something to these, and I'll explain that in a minute. So yeah, so this one is one of my favorites. It's all uneven and not complete. Like this Swiss dot I didn't gather, but the tulle, the net at the back here, I did. And then the this lace motif and beautiful blush. It's like a blush pink tulle. That I absolutely love that. So those are done. All right, so enough talking about what's already decided on that I'm not doing. But yeah, I'll show you a couple of these ones. So there's that one. See, there's not much done to this one. It gives me a bit of scope if I want to add to it or not. You don't necessarily have to add more. Sometimes, you know, less is more, especially in journals. And I did this little one with a remnant. I've already shown you that one. And then this one here. I love this. It's just a two different pieces of tulle. And then just some pleated dupion silk, and then yeah, so, and another one of those. So there, I'm going to leave those, and I'm just going to pop them away, and at some point I'll use them and maybe add to them. These ones I've decided I can add something to. You know, I'm not my best critic when it comes to anything creative. And, you know, like I kind of think that, you know, my ruffles aren't that great. And so, you know, like I look at them and I think, oh, can I do something else to that, you know, to make it look nicer? And, you know, like I look around at a lot of junk journalers and I really shouldn't. I shouldn't look at what people do. I really shouldn't. And I think, oh, I wish I could do mine like that, you know, like I wish mine would turn out gorgeous like that one. On, you know, I've got several favourite channels, and you know, it just, to some creators it comes really easy, and to others it doesn't come so easy. Some things in junk journals I can do fairly easily, and you know, I can pick up a pile of what I call a pile of crap and turn it into something amazing. And then other times I just can't do anything with it, and ruffles is one of those times. So I'm going to do something with these. I'm not stitching. I'm done with stitching. 2 days of stitching is enough. All right, so we're going to use glue. I might put buttons on some, so that would be the only stitching I'm doing. But apart from that, I'm using glue. Sorry, guys. Just, you know, going with my flow. I'm going to use, I've got a variety of trims here, all sorts of trims. And so, you know, that's probably what I'm going to go with. And yeah, so if you like, come along, get yourselves a coffee and a cup of tea, or I don't know, a glass of wine if you're so inclined, and join me in some crafting time. We're going to have a bit of fun here, playing around and seeing how much more lovely I can make these pretty little, well, I'm hoping that they'll turn out pretty little ruffles. It's one done. So I hand stitched all these because my sewing machine is not permanently set up, and it's easier for me at the moment. I can't lift anything heavy. My sewing machine's not overly heavy, but to lift it up and then higher onto a table is not really something I can really do right now because of the surgery. So I'm being very, very good, and yeah, just doing as I'm told, pretty much. So and I'm just going to add the glue down the center for most of these. I'm not going to try and straighten any out. I'm just gluing as the ruffle has naturally folded. Just because I think, well, if it's going to naturally fall that way, let's just let it be, and it'll be less frustrating for me and faster for the video, and I'm happy for it to happen that way. So I love this lace. I don't use it very much because it is all I've got and I can't get it again. Okay. I'm going to cut a little tail off at the end there. So some of these ruffles will end up in my rose journals and others will just be stored away for other journals. I'm going to do all the thicker ones first. I love this one. I love the colour of the lace. It's been tie-dyed and it's come out in 2 tones of brown and copper. So I do love it, and I have got, I'm not going to put that on that one. Try and imagine it on a page. Okay. I could make it like a trailing rose creeper type thing, but that particular braid doesn't, it takes a little bit to adhere to things and I don't want to fuss too much, so I'm just going to do this one in a straight line, but it would have looked really nice as a trailing, you know, going sort of in a squiggly line sort of thing, but never mind. We will just do it this way. It's sort of not going exactly straight anyway, and it'll work out. Okay, and I'm making sure that I haven't got any glue oozing out anywhere. If you wanted to do this sort of thing to your ruffles, you don't have to just use braids and you know, appliques and stuff. You could use other things as well. Like I said, I've got buttons here. You could do a bow and put a rusty pin in and have some beads dangling down. That would be really nice. Maybe I might do that on one of them. I don't know. Oh, there's the piece of paper that I was looking for. That goes under my phone. Okay, so what have I got here? Oh, this is one of those funny ones that went all odd shaped. I might pop that there. So I'm just going to put the main part of the glue just on the ruffle itself, not on the applique. I don't need to have the whole applique glued to the whole ruffle. It can sit loose on the edges a little bit. Like, you know, loose on the edges. That's fine. And so that's more like a cluster than a ruffle, really. It's an extra large ruffled cluster type thing. I've got another one of those, and that's like that other one that I showed you with the pretty lace applique on it from in the other pile. So I have got some lovely pieces here. Is that, I had a little one here somewhere. I'm going to pop that on there. That is a definite. Okay, but I'm going to put the glue on the actual applique. This is a lovely vintage sequined, and I think it's got some beads on it, applique from the 50s. I don't have too many of these left. There we go. That's another one done. This one, I've got some, this is Dupion silk that I use for, I tore it off into narrow strips for the tops of tags, and I thought, oh, I could do some bows with that. So we will have a look at doing some bows. Well, a bow. Oh, come on. And because I do my bows so weirdly, it's going to be a bit tricky. So have I asked how you all are? I hope you're all well and having fun. I might put something else on there. Scissors. Okay, I'm going to do it. It's going to be a bit fiddly, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to put it up a little bit higher than right at the edge because it's quite long. And of course, this will have to go in a taller journal. And we'll see how this works out now. I love this rosette type braid, it's beautiful. Oh, come on. After I've done this, I'm going to do some clusters with bits of lace and that I've got left over. I haven't even touched on the amount of lace that I had to work through. I wanted to try and get through as much as I could of this lace that was on my desk, and I didn't get anywhere near it. So that was a bit disappointing. There we go, there's a pretty one. Okay, now this one. I might leave that one for now. This one here. I don't like this one. This one's one of my least favorites. Okay. Okay. It's still one of my least favourites, but it looks a little bit better than what it did. And I have this one here. I'm leaving this weird one until last. Got this one here. I'm going to put something on here. Where's that? Do you want it, or do I want to cut some of this off? Is that going to blend in? It's going to be too blendy. Yes. I actually quite like that, so I'm gonna, I think the chocolate on it, the chocolate brown, sort of gives it a bit of a lift. Okay. And we'll overhang it a little bit at each end. There. Like so. Okay. I have this one here. Right, I'm done with using that because I'm nearly out of it. I have this one here. I just love this. Yeah, I'm going to put that on there. It just goes really well with this colour of this silk, which is it's a greenish grey, a grey green sort of colour. Sort of olive. Okay. Oh no, there was just a tiny bit too much glue. Okay. That one. And this one here. No, I'm not going to do anything to that one. But I do have this one that is more of a cluster, so I've got another one of those. And will that look better on there? Let's see if it will. That one, or that one. No, I actually think this one, it just sort of stands out better. Maybe not. Yeah, no, I'm going to put this on here. All right. So I have to do the applique this time. But again, I'm not going to do all of it. I'm just going to do a fair amount of it. Oh, maybe I'll put some buttons on that other one. Okay, so I've got buttons here, and I've already got my needle threaded. I've got all these frayed bits that are getting caught everywhere, which is very annoying. Okay, I'll leave that like that for the moment. Buttons. Oh, come here. I have these buttons, these gorgeous mother of pearl collection. These are very old, these ones. Right, so I'm not going to fuss too much. I'm going to do it as a sort of a jumbled cluster down the ruffle, and I'm only going to do a couple of stitches in each button, because once you put the glue on, it's the buttons aren't going to come undone. Okay, so I've got another few buttons here. This one, pretty one. That's a shank, so we have to and one more. There we go. And I've got some pretty pearl buttons here, but I'm not sure which ones to use. It's another shank. I don't mind using the shank buttons so much on the ruffles, because these ruffles, if they have got buttons like this, so it will definitely be on the edge of a page, and I do put my ruffles as close to the edge as I possibly can, so there's no awkward bulk in any sort of like writing space within the journal itself. Oh, come on, go in the hole. Right. Okay, so how many is that? That's 4, 5, 6, 5, 4. One might be a bit big. And I pop that one there. One more stitch through. Like so. And okay. All right, last button is going down here. Okay, and then I'm going to put a bow at the top. Oh, come on. Oh, I hate sewing on buttons. I do. I love buttons, absolutely adore vintage and antique buttons, but I do not like sewing on buttons of any age. Okay, so I'm going to just tie a knot. And this bow, I think I'm going to add a piece of lace with it. Obviously not that lace. I'm just going to put a couple of stitches in this to catch it, and we are done. There we go. Okay, so that is it. They're all done. I've done this weird cluster of buttons, and it's quite pretty. And this little lace cluster, which will be great on the edge of a page, or I mean even on a front cover of a journal would look nice. That'd be nice on a pocket or a page edge. And I mean that one pocket or a page edge, I mean all of them can be on pockets or page edges or journal cards even. I've never really put, well I have put clusters on journal cards, but probably not this elaborate. You could use them on journal covers, you know, anything really. Anywhere where they'll fit. And that one. And then that really simple one. Took me 2 minutes. This is another ruffled cluster. And then that one. And this one is really sweet. And then that one. So I hope that gave you some inspiration, and I hope it wasn't too long. I'm off to do some lace clusters with buttons and bits and pieces, and I will put an image of that up on my Instagram link. I try to remember every time when I do my video description to put my links in there. So yes, you'll find my Instagram link there. If you haven't followed me there, please do, or not, that's okay, it's all good. And until the next video, bye for now. Peaceful blessings, everybody.